The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the people's platform.
Aloha! Welcome to the Art of Painting with Rockwood. I'm Rockwood, and this is my studio. On the next 3 episodes, we're going to be working on this koi painting. The reason we're doing 3 episodes is it took longer than most of my paintings. This is a little bit more elaborate. So join me as I teach you how to do this. And aloha. All right, like I said, today we're going to be working on some koi fish. I've already got the pond drawn out, so you can see the outline right there. I've got a couple of fish and some flowers. So let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to start down here on this bottom fish, and this is going to be a more elaborate show because I've never done anything like this on a show. So this is going to be a lot of fun for me, and hopefully for you as well. So we're going to do this bottom fish down here with orange to start with my base color here. Notice I'm just pushing that paint up to the line of the fin, or the dorsal fin of that fish right there, and we're going to bring that all in here. What I want to do is get this base coat down so it'll dry a little bit, and then we can put the shadows and highlights in it. So we'll bring that paint right up to that line so I get a nice sharp line there. I'm not worried about the eye because I know where the eye goes, so I can put that in anytime. But if you're doing this and you don't know where it goes, well, just be careful when you paint around it. Koi fish are some of the most fun stuff I've ever painted. I just love these guys. And let's sneak this little fin in right here. Remember, I spin my canvas around to meet me. I don't have to try and struggle to figure out how to get into a certain spot. I just do it. What I'm doing here is I'm basically putting in my shadowed areas so that when I put the highlights on top of it, that's what's going to give me all the detail. I don't know why I'm not talking right now, because I'm just trying to get this all laid down. The reason I'm painting kois today is I was going over my other shows with my wife, and I said, I want to do some koi. She goes, you did koi already. I'm like, but not like this. So it's kind of her suggestion to do koi in an off way because she loves my kois too. probably thinking, ah, she's your wife, she probably loves everything. No, she doesn't. My wife is very critical of what I do. If she doesn't like it, she's not ashamed to tell me. And I appreciate that. That's cool. Now I'm going to add a little bit of yellow down here just to brighten up that tail right there. This is the underside here, so it's folded over, so I'm going to blend that really nice like that. Alright, so let's let that dry for a minute. Get my paper towel here and wash this off here. Now I'm going to do the same thing to this fish, except we're going to do this in white. And I didn't show you, but I'm using a canvas board today. Again, when I started this show, I bought a bunch of these boards because I knew I'd be using them, so I like using them because they're stiff. They're easy to maneuver on the table here. So the cool thing about this acrylic paint is it does dry really quick, so I'll be able to go back over that orange fish in a second here and manipulate that some more. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of Payne's Gray and create a nice blue-gray kind of shadowy color. And I'm going to paint these fins with the gray because a white fish has a shadowy area in there. So you'll see why I'm doing that in a second once I go back to the and this is almost dry, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this leftover paint and I'm going to paint right down the side of the koi. So that's going to create that shadowy color, shadowy area on his body. So if you look at that, that looks really cool. Now I'm going to rinse this out just a little bit. Take a little bit of my flow, and I'm going to blend those together a little bit more because I don't want it so dark. I want it to look like an airbrush painting. And you can see how I'm starting up here in the white area and I'm blending down over the dark area of the gray so that it has that airbrush look. I don't want any hard lines right there. See how cool that looks like that? I love that. Now, we're going to do the similar thing up here in this dorsal fin. But I'm not putting a lot of white there. Just going to bring that black, gray right down there. This is where I want a hard line because where the fin actually meets the body is actually darker and sharp. looks cool. Now we're going to take the same gray, and we're going to put it right under the tail here where it flips over. Create that shadow there. A little bit of white and brighten up this part here. And I'm going to do the same thing, is I'm going to walk that white right into the gray so that it blends in and looks like a shadow. If you can get that close up, look at that. Isn't that cool? All right, let's see, that orange is almost dry. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take some, oh, you know what? I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. I mean red, I'm sorry. I'm going to get that shadowy color going with the black and red. Too dark. So we'll take this. See if I thin this out really good with the flow. It blends it out really good and turns it into a shadow. Going to move that shadowy color right down to the edge of the fish right here. Now see how dark it was, and now it's just a nice shadowy color right there. Then take a little bit more orange and blend it in over the top of that. Now we'll take some more flow. And this flow will actually wake up a little bit of that black and get it to thin out. And since I'm working with the shadow, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to work in the shadow of that upper fish. Because he's swimming right over the top of it. Yeah. You see how that's coming together like that. Alright, so now let's put a little bit of that same shadowy type stuff, but a little bit darker on this fin right here. And this one here. Then a little bit right here. I'm barely putting any of the Payne's Gray on the brush so that when I mix it with the orange, it gets a nice shadowy color. Then I'll show you how to make that flower look like it's way higher off the page. tail in here. Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here with the yellow and I'm going to place some yellow right on top of his head. I'll refer to my reference material on my iPad. These guys have an interesting scale pattern on them. Good. Then I'm going to take a little bit of orange right back in there just to clean that, soften that edge up right there because I want it to look more like scales. Because I'm using my filbert brush. Now if you'll remember, my filbert brush has actually a rounded half moon shape to it, so which works really good for scales. Good. You see how I'm just barely dabbing this on? I'm not trying to make it pronounced. I just want it to be noticeable that they're scales. That is cool. Alright, so now let's take my small outline brush, this little dude right here, and we're going to take a little bit of yellow, and we're going to form the eye. And then I'm going to put a little bit of white right there. First, we're going to start with some yellow over here on this fin. Draw that out a little bit there. Come over to this side. doing when I load the paint up, I'm trying to roll it into a point like that, so that when I do this, get this nice lines on. Now we go in with the white, do the same thing. What the white does is it just shows the highlight of those little ribs. Pardon me. What makes this really pretty isn't the detail and stuff, it's the fact that you can tell what it is. That's what makes it art. If it looked like a photograph, well, then it's probably a photograph. And then we're going to take that Payne's Gray, and we're going to dab it right here into the eye. Tear duct there, not that they have tear ducts, but cool. And then take a little dab of white and go boom right there, and that just brings him to life. You see that little dot right there? That is boom. All right, let's go back to the top fish now, and let's do I'll take my smaller filbert brush, and we're going to take a little bit of white, and we're just going to bring that like this over the top of this. Back to my small brush. What I want to do is I just want to leave a little bit of that gray line between the white, just so that it looks like a fin. Koi fish fins are pretty much transparent, so once I'm done with this, I might throw a little tiny bit of blue, but I'm going to wait until after I get the blue down in the water. Alright, so we're going to do the eye socket now. We're going to do that with the gray. I'm going to do real subtle. quick. Alright, so we are getting close to the end of this segment. So you'll have to come back next month when we show you the rest of this painting. But look at that, isn't that wonderful? So I hope you're learning how I'm doing the shading in there. You can see that how that airbrush effect looks right there, where the white is blending into the gray, and then the same down here with the gray into the orange. It's really cool, smooth, pretty. Once I get this, I'm going to put the shadows under there. I'll put the blues and stuff like that and get those in. I really don't have a whole lot more to do on this fish, but I got a couple of seconds left. What I'm going to do right quick is I'm going to show you how I get the, because I wish I could remember the name of these particular koi fish, but they mostly white with the big red spots on them. Can't leave you with a half-done koi, right? And there's really nothing uniform about how these spots go on. When I lived in California, we used to have a place called the Koi Farm, and I used to go down there and just admire the heck out of these things. I just love koi. I was going to have a koi pond, but my wife said no, because she knew that she would be the one taking care of it. And these are purely random. There's no rhyme to reason. They are not symmetrical on both sides. They appear on one side, they don't appear on the other side. It's really weird. And I want to put just a little tiny one right there. And then sometimes they look really cool with some black spots here and there. All right, so that is all I'm going to do on this today. So I'm going to bid you a hui ho, and hopefully I'll see you next time.